Now, when political aspirants lose elections, the tendency is usually for them to take their parties on or contest as independents, especially when they feel aggrieved or unfairly treated. Often they listen to voices of dissent and exclusion speaking to them, which has the potential to create rift and tension, particularly at the constituency level, which ultimately affects the party at the national level. But a group of defeated aspirants who lost the opportunity in the NPP primaries has decided not to go along that path. They have come together to create the Aspirants Unite for Victory to promote peace and also unity going into the election 2020. Joining me in the studio is Etuduru Kobina Nyante, NPP former parliamentary aspirant for Ebra Asebu Kwamankese. He is the media lead for the Aspirants Unite for Victory, and he joins us in the studio here. I mean, of course, this is novel. It has never been done before. So what was the rationale for creating this group?
First of all, good afternoon to your cherished viewers, and thank you very much for the invitation. So the rationale behind Aspirants Unite for Victory 2020 is that we've noticed a trend since 1992 that whenever political parties are united, the tendency is for that party, to win an election, especially even on the NPP side. And then, so instead of allowing, the aspirants who lost, to do their individual thing, it is important that we unite behind the party and behind the President Nana Akufo-Addo. The process started a long time ago, a while ago, under the leadership of Honorable Kennedy Kankam from Nshaiso, and also from Vice Obuo, who ran from Asante Achim South. And a lot of background work has been done. And then we had a beautiful lunch on the 28th of September, where we had the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, grace the occasion, and also the Speaker, Professor Michael Okwe, the Speaker, grace the occasion, and we had the great organizer of the NPP, Sami Oku, grace the occasion. So essentially, the goal is that we recognize the great work that President Nana has done, and we should not leave anything to chance, whether be it any differences, whether be being hurt in the elections, or whether be it any thing that could come up.
I'm curious to know, I mean, how many are you? How many are you? And what specifically do you do as a group that this is what we set as our target, this is what we're going to do?
So on the question of how many are we, there are over about 220 people, aspirants who run. I can say that of all those aspirants who run, nobody has gone independent. And we have the majority, the vast majority, over 90% of all those who run being part of Aspirants Unite, for Victory.
Give me a number, a figure, an estimate. How many are you? 20, 50, 100?
I'll say that we are about 200.
About 200.
About 200.
That's a lot. So what do you do? I mean, like.
So our goal, there were two main goals, and then and then our activity is very specific. The goal is to make sure that Nanadu wins the 2020 elections by over 57%, and get at least almost 60%, right? And also, so far as we're concerned, we want to make sure that the parliamentarians on the NPP side, we get at least 180 people into parliament, because we need a majority in the parliament to support the good work of President Nana. Now, our main activity, is always around organizing health walks. Like this past weekend, we were part of the Koleklote constituency. This coming weekend, we're going to Banda. And then there are other constituencies that we go. The first thing is that our main goal in terms of work is singular, to make sure that we remove any differences, within any constituency, and unite all the constituency, the aspirant and all the supporters, all those who run within the constituency. And then and we achieve that through going to visit these, constituencies, organizing health walks. By the end of October, you're going to see a number of press conferences all in line with what the national
Right.
party is doing in terms of the 2020 campaign.
Okay, so is it the case that none of you, all 200 of you, have no issues with the processes leading to the primaries or even the primaries proper? None of you are aggrieved. All of you were happy with the process. You were defeated. You're still happy, and you've come together as a group to, ensure Nanado, wins in the 2020 elections.
Araba, losing an election is not easy, and so I'm not going to sit here and say that nobody is aggrieved. So it's not about being aggrieved per se. It is about what we do about those who feel, aggrieved.
Well, speaking about those who feel aggrieved, well, I mean, there are those of your members who felt aggrieved. They went through the party channels. They felt the party treated them unfairly and decided to contest as independents. One person who comes to mind is the former MP, Mr. Siama. Have you reached out to such people? Because your party chairman says that at least 4 people in the Ashanti region are going as independents. So have you reached out to these people?
Yes, we have. And but let me be very specific here. There are those who contested, who picked up the NPP form, filled it, filed, went through vetting and contested. Okay. And then there are those who did not contest. And what the Aspirants Unite for Victory has managed to get all those who contested the primaries and even and lost into this group. Now, there are some other individuals who did not contest, and so the former MP, for instance, did not actually run for the election. But then there is still a lot of work going on in the background. At this stage, it might be a decision that he has to take to proceed, and the party is dealing with it both at the parliamentary level, in parliament, and also within the party. But I'm happy to stress that all those aspirants who actually contested, none of those aspirants are actually going for independent. And it is because it's not just an easy process of removing grievances. It is the important case of, this is one of the key moments in our country where NPP has set a solid foundation for development, and the work that has to continue. And the Free SHS, we are continuing with the process of transferring, making sure that TVET is also technical, vocational training is also free, and that we can train the resource manpower that we need for development, and also extend Wi-Fi to all secondary schools. The beauty of such a process is to make sure that if there is a good lesson being given in Legon Presec, the student in Tamale can use free Wi-Fi to listen in, even live. And so you would have access to a knowledge base in a way irrespective of the school that you are going to. We are making sure that under tertiary education, there is no more guarantee. You don't need any more guarantee. You can just get your tertiary student loan without any guarantee and be able to. The alternative is worse. The alternative is about something they call chimpe, which is just your academic fees. Now think about it. Your academic fees is essentially only 1,500 Ghana cedis, per term. If you chimpe, you divide it into 2 equally. Chimpe means divided into 2. Right. You get half of 1,500. Now it doesn't include all your living expenses, your rent while you're in school, your school feeding, and all those things that you need. So if you can get a student loan that covers the entire living expense, which could be as high as 8,000 or 10,000 per term, compared to the pittance of 10% or 50%, of only academic fees. So you're comparing an amount less than 1,000 Ghana cedis to access of 10,000 Ghana cedis for your education. Okay.
So very well, but let's come back to the issue of the defeated aspirants.
Yeah.
So you're being very noble by deciding that you're not going to contest the party because you were defeated, even though you have grievances.
That's right.
Your focus is on ensuring that President Akufo-Addo clinches another term.
That's right.
Right, but you cannot also overlook the issues that many of these aspirants had in the run-up to the primaries and thereafter. So how do you intend to deal with the party to address this issue going forward?
Yeah, the good news is that there are several opportunities within the party. There are several opportunities in government. And everybody who actually contested is qualified one way or the other. There are doctors who qualified, there are who run, there are people with master's education, you know, and people with vast amount of experience, including myself, around energy. But and so it is not about just contesting. Is anybody who contested had something to offer this country, and so it's about making sure that we all come together so we can take you know, care of or be placed within the several opportunities that exist, and we can help to develop this country.
I see. Let's talk about the future of the group. I mean, how do you intend to sustain it in a way that will impact, you know, politics going forward?
We've done a fantastic job so far. In terms of fundraising, we spent over 200,000 Ghana cedis during our launch, and all the money, we raised it from within the aspirants. We didn't necessarily get that kind of direct support, you know, in terms of finance from the party. We financed it from ourselves. Is the group going to be disbanded after 2021?
You
know what? It's been a question that we've asked ourselves, you know, several times. And one of the proposition is to make sure that the group is designed in a way to reduce the need for grievances during elections. So I'm sure that the executives of the party, of the group, you know, will look at its relevance after the election. But for now, our goal is to make sure that Nanado and over 180 parliamentarians on the NPP ticket get into parliament and cause to take this country to the next level.
All right, we wish you all the best. That's Kobna Nyante. He
Thank
is
you very much.
One of those member of the Aspirants Unite for Victory, NPP aspirants who lost their bid for parliament, who've come together to ensure Nanado achieves victory in the December 7 polls.